Consider the archetypal New England University. It's an aesthetic built on exclusivity, ivy-covered walls, perfectly manicured lawns, and a legacy of quiet, guarded wealth. Author Mona Awad viewed her arrival at a prestigious Ivy League writing program through a Gothic lens. As an outsider on a sprawling, historic campus, she felt a lingering dread, a sense that the pristine cobblestones and gates were designed specifically to alienate her. These hyper-elite bubbles operate by keeping people out. They cultivate an atmosphere of secret societies and hidden knowledge, placing immense psychological weight on anyone lucky enough to cross the threshold. In her novel Bunny, Awad pushes this isolation to its extreme. She builds a world where a prestigious academic bubble acts as a literal monster-making machine, fueled by the protagonist's profound loneliness. We experience this world through Samantha, a scholarship student in an elite MFA writing program. She is entirely paralyzed, stuck in a severe writing slump, surviving on practically nothing and drowning in grief after the death of her mother. Her daily reality sits in harsh contrast to the Bunnies, a clique of hyper-privileged, wealthy women who operate as a suffocating, touchy-feely hive mind. Samantha's only tether to sanity is her friend Ava. Ava is fiercely anti-establishment, a punk rock outsider who openly mocks the university's pretension from the safety of the local dive bars. Samantha outwardly agrees with Ava. She openly despises the Bunnies and their superficial art. Yet, crippled by imposter syndrome in a program she barely believed she'd get into, a hidden part of her desperately craves their validation. That hidden desperation takes control when Samantha receives a surprise invitation to the Bunnies' private off-campus gathering known as the Smut Salon. Driven by absolute isolation, she chooses to accept. Samantha's very human need to fit in blinds her. She makes herself the perfect prey for a group whose harmless, pastel exterior conceal a violent, cult-like reality. Inside the Smut Salon, the Bunnies gather in a circle, chanting as they watch a live rabbit violently explode to create artificial human life. These rituals produce what the Bunnies call drafts, mindless, half-human men with black leather paws. They have no agency, existing entirely to repeat scripted compliments and validate the Bunnies' egos. Awad's novel literalizes the MFA writing process. When inputs are a life of extreme wealth, the workshop funnel churns out uniform, flat art. But Samantha's input is shaped by poverty. When her chaotic, jagged experiences hit the funnel, the machine breaks down, producing something volatile. Art manufactured in a sheltered echo chamber remains safe and subservient. Art fueled by true grief is dangerous and uncontrollable. As Samantha sinks deeper into the cult, her reliability as a narrator crumbles. She relies on nerve-calming pills, suffers massive memory blackouts, and surrenders her individuality to speak only as we. To protect this newfound toxic positivity, she actively pushes Ava away. She begins to view her only real friend as strange and ugly, drowning in the Bunnies' dissociative affection. Without Ava, Samantha's suppressed trauma takes physical shape. She creates Max, a feral, wolfish hybrid completely unlike the Bunnies' tame creations. Max behaves as a modern Frankenstein's monster. He rejects the Bunnies' shallow, heavily scripted existence, going rogue and throwing Samantha's reality into total chaos. When an artist uses their imagination to dissociate from trauma rather than process it, that suppressed darkness eventually manifests and turns on its creator. Humiliated by Max's rebellion, the Bunnies seek absolute revenge. They decide to punish Samantha by hunting down and killing Ava. At this moment, the novel delivers its heaviest psychological blow. Ava was never a human being. She was a swan from the campus pond. Samantha's agonizingly lonely mind transmuted a literal bird into a best friend just to survive her isolation. It was a defense mechanism, a hallucination forged in the wake of her mother's death. And if Ava is a fabrication, so is Max. The feral, wolfish boy is an externalized manifestation of Samantha's repressed rage and intense disdain for the academic elite. The supernatural cult serves as a shell for the book's actual terror, the heartbreaking, grotesque lengths a fractured mind will go to in order to invent its own survival mechanisms. Samantha achieves her ultimate victory by finally confronting the absolute reality of her own fractured psyche. In the story's final act, Samantha stands before the cult and admits out loud that she loves Ava. By claiming her love for a hallucination built from her own mind, she is finally admitting that she loves herself. That single act of radical self-acceptance neutralizes her rage. Max dissolves, and the dissociative spell of the Bunnies is broken. True creative power and personal healing requires a painful surrender. You have to give up the warm comfort of delusion, face your own darkness, and finally sit down at the blank page in the real world.